So statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 is correct. Learner-centered approach is centered on teacher needs. A learner-centered approach is centered on the needs and interests of the learners rather than the teacher. The teacher's role is to facilitate learning process rather than dictate it. Second, learner-centered approach is centered on cooperative determination of subject matter. It involves a cooperative determination of subject matter where the learners are encouraged to participate in the selection and development of the topics and materials that will be covered in the learning process. However, this is not the only defining characteristic of learner-centered approach. Other features of learner-centered approach may include personalized learning, active and experiential learning, and a focus on metacognitive skills. Now, which of the following is a technique to provide right kind of support in right amount at the right time to increase child's competence? Scaffolding. Scaffolding, a teacher's approach where the teacher provides temporary support to help the learner acquire new skills or knowledge. This support is gradually reduced as the learner gains competence and independence. It involves breaking down complex tasks into smaller and manageable steps and providing guidance and support to the learner. The teacher may use prompts, cues, feedback, and modeling to help the learner understand the task and develop their skills. As the learner becomes more competent, the teacher gradually reduces the level of support until the learner can complete the task independently. Assistance. Assisting students is a key responsibility of teachers, and there are many ways in which teachers can support their students. Accommodation. Accommodation in teaching and learning refers to teaching strategy that involves making adjustments to the way instruction is delivered, the materials used, or the way assessments are administered to better meet the individual learning needs of the students. Schemas. Schemas in teaching and learning refer to the mental frameworks or structures that individuals use to organize and interpret information. Schemas are developed through experience and can influence how individuals perceive, remember, and process new information. Swayamprabha is an education learning platform initiated by whom that is available 24/7 through 34 DTH channels. It is the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, now the Ministry of Education. Swayamprabha is an initiative by the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, now Ministry of Education, Government of India. It is a group of 34 DTH channels dedicated to providing high-quality educational content to students and teachers across country, available 24/7 from school to postgraduate education, prepared by experts, top institutions, IITs, IIMs, central universities. Aim is to make quality education accessible to all regardless of their location or socio-economic background. Hence, Swayamprabha is an educational learning platform initiated by Ministry of Human Resource Development. Additional information: University Grants Commission (UGC), statutory body that provides funds to universities and higher education institutions. Consortium for Educational Communication (CEC) is an autonomous body under the UGC responsible for coordinating and implementing educational projects. All India Council of Technical Education (AICTE), statutory body and a national level council for technical education responsible for accrediting technical institutions and providing grants. A learner combines previous schemas or modifies them as per the new experiences. The process of combining or modifying existing schemas and to arrive at new schemas is known as what? So that's accommodation. Accommodation, the process of modifying existing schemas or creating new schemas in response to new experiences, involves changing the existing cognitive structures to accommodate new information, allows individuals to adjust their mental frameworks to incorporate new information that cannot be assimilated within their current schemas. Key component of the theory of cognitive development proposed by Jean Piaget. Accommodation involves making adjustments to one's cognitive structures to fit new information, which can help individuals to adapt to new situations and expand their understanding of the world around them. Hence, the process of combining or modifying existing schemas to arrive at new schemas is known as accommodation. Assimilation, the process of incorporating new information or experiences into existing schemas. Adaptation, a broader term that refers to the overall process of adjusting to new information and experiences, which can involve both assimilation and accommodation. Equilibration is the process of achieving balance or stability between existing cognitive structures and new experiences. Hey Siri, timer, perfect model. That's Taba's model. Now, Taba defines curriculum as the document containing a statement or the aims and of the specific objectives. It indicates some selection and organization of content. It either implies or manifests certain patterns of learning and teaching. Because the objective and demand of the content organization requires it includes a program of evaluation of the outcomes. Steps of Hilda Taba's model of curriculum development. Hilda Taba is the developer of this model of learning. Taba believed that there is a definite logical and sequential order in creating a curriculum. She promotes the down-top model or grassroots approach. Taba's grassroots model has 7 steps as listed below, advocating a major role for teachers. Diagnosis of learners' needs. A teacher who is also the curriculum designer starts the process by identifying the needs of the students for whom curriculum is to be planned. For example, majority of students are unable to think critically. The second, formulation of objectives. After the teacher has identified the needs of learners that require attention, he or she specifies the objectives by which needs will be fulfilled. Third, selection of the content. The objectives selected or created suggest the subject matter or content of the curriculum. Not only objectives and content should match, but also the validity and significance of the chosen content need to be determined. That is, the relevance and significance of the content. Selection of the content, so that's done. Now, organization of the content. A teacher cannot just select content but must organize it in a particular sequence, taking into consideration the maturity of learners, their academic achievement, and their interests. Now, the next, selection of learning experiences. Content must be presented to the students and they must be engaged with the content. At this point, teachers should select an appropriate instructional methodology that will involve the students with the content. The next, organization of learning activities. The learning activities be organized in a sequence depending both on the content sequence and learners' characteristics. The teacher needs to keep in mind the students he or she will be teaching. Next and the last, evaluation. The curriculum planner, that is the teacher, must determine what objectives need to be accomplished. To assess the achievement of learning objectives, evaluation procedures need to be designed. Additional information. The open classroom model is an approach to teaching and learning that emphasizes flexibility, student centered learning, and collaboration. In an open classroom, students have more control over their learning and are encouraged to take an active role in the learning process. The Weinstein and Fantini model is a curriculum development model that focuses on the development of intercultural competence. The model was developed by James Weinstein and Alvino Fantini, two educators who were interested in promoting intercultural understanding and communication. Rogers' model of interpersonal relations is a model of communication developed by Carl Rogers, a prominent psychologist and psychotherapist. The model emphasizes the importance of empathy, genuineness, and unconditional positive regard in interpersonal relationships. Now, survey research is one of the key methods in sociology. Survey research, a research method used to collect data from a sample of individuals through the use of questionnaires or interviews used in various fields like marketing, psychology, healthcare, education, especially in psychology. Sociologists use survey to study various aspects of society such as social structures, attitudes, beliefs, behaviors, and trends among the population. Goal of survey research is to gather information about a specific population or group of individuals in order to draw conclusions about the larger population from which the sample was drawn. Surveys can be conducted through various methods such as online, by phone, mail, or in person. The results of survey research are typically presented in a statistical form and used to inform decision making or policy development. Additional information. Physics. Survey research is not commonly used in physics as it involves experimental and theoretical methods to study natural phenomena. History. Although survey research can be used in historical research, it is not commonly used in as it relies on self-reported data from individuals who may not remember or accurately report past events. Hermeneutics. Hermeneutics is a method of interpreting text, and survey research is not relevant to this field. So, hermeneutics is interpreting texts. Now, methods of social research are directly linked to different visions of what? So, they are linked to social reality. The method of social research are directly linked to different visions of social reality as they shape how researchers perceive, understand, and analyze social phenomena. Different research methods such as surveys, interviews, participant observation, case studies, and experiments have different strengths and weaknesses in capturing or interpreting social reality. For example, a qualitative approach may be more appropriate for exploring the subject experiences and meanings that people attach to their actions, while a quantitative approach may be more suited for examining the relationships and patterns between variables in a larger population. The choice of research methods is therefore based on the researcher's understanding of social reality and the research questions they seek to answer. Important points. Now, some of the commonly used methods of social research are surveys, interviews, and case studies. Surveys are a popular research method used to gather information about a large population. Surveys typically involve collecting data through questionnaires or interviews and can be conducted in person, over the phone, or online. Interviews involve gathering information by asking people questions. They can be conducted in person, over the phone, or online and can be structured or unstructured. Case study involves in-depth examination of a specific individual group or situation. Researchers often use case studies to gain insight into complex social phenomena or to examine the effects of particular interventions. So, case studies is done, and then observation. Observation involves collecting data by watching people in their natural environment. Researchers may take notes, use video or audio recordings, or conduct structured or unstructured observations. Experiments. Experiments involve manipulating one or more variables in order to study the effects on a dependent variable. Experiments are often used to establish causal relationships between variables. Content analysis. Content analysis involves analyzing texts, images, or other forms of communication in order to identify patterns, themes, or other relevant information. Secondary data analysis. Secondary data analysis involves using existing data sources such as government statistics or previous research studies to answer the research questions. Now, additional information. So, laboratory experiments. This refers to a scientific method of research that involves conducting experiments on a controlled environment such as a laboratory to test hypotheses and establish causal relationships between variables. Simulations. This refers to a method of research that involves creating artificial or computer-based models of social phenomena to analyze their behavior and dynamics. Virtual reality. This refers to an immersive digital simulation of a three-dimensional environment that can be experienced through electronic devices such as headsets to create a sense of presence and interaction with virtual objects and characters. Now, the grand theories of social sciences operate at higher level of abstraction. The grand theories of social sciences, they attempt to provide overarching explanations for complex social phenomena by identifying broad patterns, relationships that exist across multiple levels of analysis. For example, grand theories like Marxism, feminism, and structuralism attempt to provide explanations for social phenomena by examining the relationships between different social groups, institutions, and power structures. These theories operate at a high level of abstraction because they are designed to provide explanations that are applicable to a wide range of social contexts rather than focusing on specific individuals, groups, or events. While grand theories can be useful for understanding broad social patterns and relationships, they can also be criticized for their lack of specificity and applicability to real-world situations. In many cases, more specific and localized theories and models may be more useful for understanding and addressing specific social problems. Now, which of the following are considered major types of qualitative research question? So 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is causes and consequences, predictive, evaluative, and descriptive. Non-purposive is not the right answer. Qualitative research. Qualitative research is a type of research that aims to gain an understanding of a particular phenomenon or behavior through exploring the perspectives and experiences of individuals or groups. Qualitative research questions are designed to explore phenomena in depth and open-minded in nature. There are several major types of qualitative research questions, including descriptive questions. These questions are designed to describe the phenomena or behavior being studied in detail. For example, can you describe your experience with this product? Causes and consequences of questions. These questions explore the factors that contribute to the phenomena or behavior being studied, as well as the outcomes or consequences of that behavior. For example, what factors do you think contribute to a high rate of obesity in this community, and what are the consequences of this? Now, the third is predictive questions. These questions are designed to predict future behavior or outcomes based on data collected. For example, based on your experiences with this product, do you think you would likely recommend it to others in the future? Now, evaluative questions. These questions are designed to assess the effectiveness or value of a particular intervention or program. For example, what are your thoughts on the effectiveness of this drug in treating your condition? Hence, major types of qualitative research questions are causes and consequences, predictive, evaluative, descriptive. Now, time and cost are not relevant in determining the sample size. The second unit non-response and item non-response do not matter in deciding the sampling error. So both are false. Time and cost are not relevant in determining the sample size. Time and cost are important considerations when determining the sample size, so that is an incorrect statement. Now, in sampling, the sample size refers to the number of individuals or items to be included in the study. The larger the sample size, the more precise the estimates of the population parameters. However, increasing the sample size also means more time and resources are required for data collection, analysis, and interpretation. Therefore, researchers need to strike a balance between precision and practicality in determining the sample size. Moreover, the sample size should be determined based on the research objectives, study design, sampling method, population size, and variability. The sampling method used can also affect the sample size. For example, in stratified sampling, the sample size is determined based on the strata rather than the entire population. In cluster sampling, the sample size may be determined based on the number of clusters to be included in the study. Hence, this statement is false. Now, second, unit non-response and item non-response do not matter in deciding the sampling error. Non-response refers to the failure of selected units or items to participate in the study. There are two types of non-response: unit non-response and item non-response. Unit non-response occurs when a selected individual or household refuses to participate or cannot be reached. Item non-response occurs when a selected item or question is not answered by the respondent. Non-response can lead to bias in the sample, which in turn affects the accuracy of the estimates and the sampling error. Now, the sampling error refers to the difference between the sample estimate and the population parameter. Non-response refers to the failure of selected units or items to participate in the study. There are two types of non-response. Okay, it can lead to bias in the sample. The sampling error refers to the difference between the sample estimate and the population parameter. The larger the sampling error, the less accurate the estimates are. Non-response can increase the sampling error by introducing bias into the sample. For example, if the non-responders have different characteristics than the responders, the estimates may be biased towards the characteristics of the responders. Therefore, researchers need to take non-response into account when deciding the sample size and sampling method, and should attempt to minimize non-response through various techniques such as follow-up calls or visits. Now, the science of studying the feedback systems in humans, animals, and machines is described as cybernetics. Cybernetics is the science of studying the communication and control systems in humans, animals, and machines. It deals with the feedback mechanisms and how they influence the behavior of the system. The term cybernetics comes from the Greek word kybernetes, which means steersman or governor. The field of cybernetics was first introduced by mathematician Norbert Wiener in the 1940s, and it has since grown to encompass a wide range of applications from artificial intelligence and robotics to biological systems and social organization. Now, important points. It is an interdisciplinary field that combines principles from mathematics, engineering, biology, and other sciences to study how feedback and control systems operate in complex systems. In cybernetics, feedback refers to the process of returning a portion of the output of a system to the input, allowing for self-regulation and adjustment. Feedback systems are used in a wide range of applications, from temperature control in a building to the regulation of hormone levels in the human body. Cybernetics has applications in a variety of fields, including robotics, artificial intelligence, economics, and sociology. Hence, the science of studying the feedback systems in humans, animals, and machines is described as cybernetics. Now, message hermeneutics. Hermeneutics is a branch of philosophy considered or concerned with interpretation, particularly of texts. Message hermeneutics refers specifically to the interpretation of messages such as those found in literature, art, or communication. While this field may involve understanding feedback within communication systems, it is not the same as the scientific study of the feedback systems. Now, he is particularly known for his ideas about language structure and the nature of linguistic science. De Saussure viewed language as the system of science composed of two-part signifier, the sound or written form of the word, and the signified the concept of meaning associated with the word. Argued that language is not just a collection of individual words but a complex system of interrelated signs that are constantly evolving and changing. De Saussure used the term profusion of signs to describe the vast number of words and concepts that make up any given language. He believed that the meaning of the word is not fixed or absolute, but is instead determined by its relationships to other words within the linguistic system. In contrast to some earlier linguists who viewed language as a static and unchanging system, De Saussure emphasized the dynamic and constantly evolving nature of linguistic science and their relationships. His ideas had a profound influence on the development of modern linguistics and semiotics. Now, which of the following are the criteria for public service communication? So that's 3, 4, and 5 only. 3, 4, and 5 only. So accuracy, comprehensiveness, and separation of opinion and facts. Which of the following are the criteria for public service communication? That is accuracy, comprehensiveness, and separation of opinion and facts. Now, public service communication is a form of communication which aims to inform, educate, and raise awareness about social issues or public welfare initiatives. A type of communication that is meant to serve the public good rather than the commercial interests. Service communication can be delivered through various mediums such as print, broadcast, or digital media, and it may be carried out by government agencies, non-profit organizations, and other entities that are committed to improving the well-being of the society. Examples of public service communication campaigns include anti-smoking campaigns, public health announcements, and campaigns to promote environment conservation. The criteria for public service communication are as follows. Accuracy. Public service communication should be accurate and factually correct. It should be based on credible sources and should be free from errors, omissions, or misinterpretations. Comprehensiveness. Public service communication should provide a complete picture of the issues being addressed. It should not leave out important details or aspects of the issue and should present all relevant information in a clear and concise manner. Separation of opinions and facts. Public service communication should clearly distinguish between opinion and fact. It should not present opinions or subjective views as facts and should provide a balanced and unbiased account of the issue. So, now additional information. Personal bias. Public service communication should be free from personal bias or any influence that could compromise the objectivity and the information being presented. It should be based on facts and should not reflect personal beliefs or prejudices. Ideological slant. Public service communication should be free from any ideological or political bias. It should present information in a neutral and unbiased manner and should not promote any particular political or ideological agenda.